Today I'm interviewing Chris Goggin, Operations Director of Rinnai UK. Rinnai is a global leader in heating and hot water appliance manufacturing, striving for reliable and consistent quality. Over the course of this three-part interview, we will be talking about the impact of EPCs on the non-residential sector. This is part 2 of our three-part interview with Chris.
Okay. Hi, I'm Chris Goggin and I'm the Operations Director at Rinnai UK. I'm a Fellow of the Chartered Institute of Marketing and I have a BSc in Environmental Sciences. And I've been working in the UK heating and hot water industry for over 20 years. Recently involved in the go-to-market of hydrogen-ready equipment, RDME-ready equipment and heat pump technologies. My organisation, which is Rinnai, is a global supplier of heating and hot water technologies, and what we do is we treat a building or a customer on a building level whereby we'll provide a solution to their very unique problem.
Why doesn't a single heating technology work for most existing buildings?
When we talk about decarbonising heat, there is often an assumption that one technology will replace everything. And that simply isn't how existing buildings work. Most of the commercial and public buildings weren't designed for today's technologies, energy prices or carbon targets. They have high temperature systems, limited space, restricted electricity capacity and very specific hot water demands. On top of that, they are unusual in terms of operational, occupancy and providing for critical services that maybe have changed over the years. When you try and force a single solution into those constraints, you often end up with higher costs, poorer performance, and risk. That's why for many existing buildings, there isn't a silver bullet solution, and a mixed technology approach can be a compromise, particularly in the early stages of EPC reform.
Heat pumps are central to decarbonisation, so where do the challenges arise in retrofit?
Heat pumps absolutely have a major role to play in decarbonising heat, and that's not in dispute. However, in existing buildings, deploying heat pumps alone can be challenging. Space for plant, thermal storage, and other additions can mean we're limited. Electrical upgrades can be expensive and slow, installation can be disruptive, and meeting high temperature hot water can be challenging and not straightforward. These are well-known real retrofit issues, ones we've faced with many retrofits we've done around London, including places like the Ruby Hotel, where we started off with heat pumps and moved to hybrids. But at the same time, keeping traditional systems is challenging and not really the focus of government legislation and thinking. So you have to break down the solution to the building and provide the right solution for the nuances of the UK building stock.
What do you mean by a mixed technology approach in practice?
A mixed technology approach means using the right technology for the right job within the same building. For example, heat pumps can be effective to provide base load space heating, where they deliver strong carbon benefits, where high efficiency water heating systems can be used for peak hot water demand, where temperature resilience and reliability are critical. So when we talk about mixed technology, this is by combining technologies alongside things like thermal storage, intelligent controls. We can balance these needs along with carbon reduction while still optimizing performance. Instead of asking one system to do everything, often with difficulty, you allow each technology to operate where it performs at its best.
Why is this approach so important for the future of decarbonisation?
Because decarbonisation isn't about ideology, it's about performance. What matters is how the building operates, its energy use, its running costs, its carbon impact, its resilience, and its user comfort. As EPCs evolve and operational performance becomes more visible, real world outcomes actually become more important than technology labels. And a mixed technology approach can really support this transition and reduce the disruption. Capital investment can be phased, risk can be managed, buildings maintain operational, and that's throughout their decarbonisation journey. If we're serious about decarbonising existing buildings at scale, we need less dogma and more engineering common sense. The future of heating isn't one technology replacing another, it's an intelligent combination of technologies, fuels and power designed around real buildings and the real constraints that we're faced with every day. So EPC reform is going to reshape the commercial built environment, but it's also clear it's a huge opportunity for FM teams to lead this transition. With the right data, the right technology, and importantly the right partners, we can turn compliance pressure into long-term performance gains.